You gotta go louder, Sergeant.
You want to be louder?
Absolutely, Sergeant.
Okay, everybody, we're going to get started. Welcome to 1 Million Cups El Paso, and thank you for being here. We'd like to introduce our organizers to the front, and they're not at the front. We have Serena Harper walking her way up here. Actually, we're going to lead our organizers today. Nancy Lauer in the back, and Nicole, our astute erstwhile intern, is running the computer behind us. So again, thank you for coming to 1 Million Cups. Who's here for the first time this morning? Show of hands, please. Welcome. Oh, awesome. Welcome. And folks that I was talking to at Breakfast with Friends last week, so thank you for being here. And we have another organizer, Ms. Esther Lopez. Of course, she's here. So, what is 1 Million Cups? 1 Million Cups was established by the Kauffman Foundation for the purpose of entrepreneurial networking, showcase, and education. We are part of more than 140 communities in the United States doing 1 Million Cups every Wednesday. So what do? We bring in, every Wednesday we bring in 2 entrepreneurs to tell us their story. How they got started in business for themselves, their trials, their tribulations, their successes, and most importantly, where they are now and how we can help them move forward. After the short presentation, you all get 15 minutes of Q&A with them, and that's the real value add for our entrepreneur presenters, where you can challenge them, give them some great feedback. Every presenter has told us I get such great feedback, so don't be afraid to challenge them, get in the weeds with during that portion of the event. I'd like to do a shout out to our sponsors. The delicious coffee is by 210 Coffee. It's awesome. They give us, I was going to check, they give us a different kind every 2 weeks. I forget what it is today, but the coffee's awesome. By the way, please do support. They have 3 retail locations around town. And if you go by there, get their honey latte. It's amazing. And I get only even half the honey, and it's still awesome. So 210 Coffee Roasters, shout out to them. Our venue sponsor, the Hub of Human Innovation, where you are today. What is the Hub? The Hub is a business and technology incubator. A few years back, we knew that El Paso was the largest city in the U.S. without an incubator, so 7 entities got together and formed this for the purpose of helping companies that have new products, new technologies that are just getting started or growing to be assisted in their growth. We are supported by the city of El Paso for the purpose of economic development and by private donors. We're very, very affordable, so if you or somebody you know has a business that you're starting or growing, particularly with a new technology, a new product or service, please come see us, we can help. Every presentation is videotaped and then uploaded to our YouTube channel and also on Facebook. Please download the app on 1millioncups.org. You can download the app, please check in, and then you can also even give feedback to the presenters via the app. Please also check in and follow both 1 Million Cups and the Hub on Facebook and Twitter. You can join the community. There's all kinds of events that you can see, or rather presentations. Again, I mentioned 140. You can literally spend your whole life watching 1 Million Cups events. If you say, what's happening in marketing in Dallas, you can go and see the marketing type presentation in Dallas. So it's a great resource for us to have. Also, today is 1 week after our 1-year anniversary, which we realized last week, kind of belated. So you're actually in luck. We're going to celebrate it today. We have cake. Yes. We'll be cutting the cake discreetly in between the 2 presenters, but don't rush back there to get it because we'll stop you, we'll tackle you. But after the event, the last presenter, then everybody please grab some cake, stick around for the networking. And just as a real quick recap, we gave this again last week, but it's worthwhile. So we've now done 52 events. I believe this is 53 here in El Paso. Over 100 companies have presented, over 1,985 participants, and again, you're part of a huge movement. I skipped a part of the name. The reason it's 1 Million Cups is because at some point, we as a national organization will be able to say 1 million cups of coffee have been drank while discussing and talking about entrepreneurship, so that's really awesome. So with that, the parking, thank you, Serena. The parking announcement, if you parked in front of the building in the angle parking, we lost that. Okay. If you park in front of the building in the angle parking, please make sure you're backed in. The city of El Paso will come give you a love note. If you're on the side closest to Durango, you only have an hour. If you're on the side closest to the Paisano curve, then you're unlimited, so you're fine there. And please do sign in. If you didn't sign in on the way here, or as you arrived, please sign in on your way out. We have a late arriving organizer, Mr. Eric Bischoff. Anyway, with that, I'll bring up our first presenter, 915 Rewards.
everyone, how are you? Good. Good. So, how many of you are actually involved in any kind of loyalty program? Right? Okay. Is it through text? Is it a punch card? What do you actually work off of?
Credit card.
Credit card? Okay, so honestly, every time you use a credit card, probably it's racking up your points. It's kind of building up something that you can use in the future, right? What we do is 915 Rewards will actually use your mobile device to start building up points. For most businesses, it is, it is a tablet, kind of like Walgreens. You go to Walgreens, they ask if you have your Walgreens Rewards card. You don't, you punch in your phone number. It's exactly what we do, except we are local, okay? So if you were to use your phone and text into this number, type that into your ad compose, you'll actually get more information from us, okay, through your cell phone. How we started. Basically, this is actually a different presentation. So I will kind of bypass this a little bit. This is my old presentation. Basically, the way 915 Rewards started was in 2014, when we saw that the Chihuahuas were coming in, we saw a need that there is hardly any parking, right? Downtown is kind of a smaller area with not a lot of parking. So what we decided is we brought in El Paso pedicabs, little bicycle rickshaws that are here. So we brought in El Paso pedicabs. It was great, great movement. Then we, through our networking, through advertising in the rear of the cabs, we do have TVs in the back. Through that, we got to get to know a few other people, and then we started a car wash. The car wash is located in the Mills building, lower level. And so that's kind of how we got in there. We needed a way to get the word out, right? How do we get more people to come in to this dark garage on the lower level with no front, street visibility? No one knows we're here, for the exception of the tenants in the Mills building and in the Chase building, the old Chase building. So how do we do that? That's how we ended up finding out 915 Rewards, through text messaging. And then it just kind of started from there. So that was our first, is through our car wash. Let's see what I have here. So this is an older presentation. I thought I sent in the wrong one. Okay. So what we do with 915 Rewards is a lot for me. Our problems, our challenges that we're having currently is the fact that a lot of businesses aren't willing to take the chance with implementing a new program, right? How do we get into, well, what kind of marketing, what kind of advertising is this really bringing in for me? Through 915 Rewards, really it's kind of retaining your customers, okay? So it costs more money to bring in new customers, and it's actually easier to maintain your current customers. So for us, it's providing them with that tablet, a check-in system, a way to kind of put in their phone number, and with every return, hopefully you can start building up points, and then they can start feeling that they're getting a sense of reward for each visit. So this is kind of just a little bit of what we do for a lot of businesses. We do have a few competitors in the area. Not very many, but we do. Even Square offers a loyalty rewards program, if you choose to go in that route. What we find though is with our competitors that we do have, a lot of them lock businesses into a contract. Okay, so once they're locked into a contract for a year, 6 months, what if they didn't feel that it worked for them? How can I come in and, help make that a little bit better? How can I show that a local program, a local business is going to help them? So that's kind of what we do. As far as that, that's pretty much what 915 Rewards is. If you guys have any questions for me, this would be the perfect time. Yes.
What kind of businesses benefit most from using this?
So I actually have every kind of business on my other presentation that I sent in the wrong one. With the other one, I do have businesses of all types. I have dog groomers, I have art galleries, I have restaurants. Mainly you'll see it probably more in restaurants because you actually start bringing in more frequent customers. With our business, I did buy into a licensing software. My home corporate business is in California. Okay, so what I did is, with them, we actually have affiliates. So a lot of our affiliates are like Subway, Dairy Queens, you know, a lot of those. We actually have Once Upon a Child, Plato's Closet. So there are retail stores, restaurants, like I said, that we kind of cater to. Yes?
Whatever became of the petty caps, we don't see them around as much.
So they're not out right now. Right now it is kind of a little bit of a dead season. The biggest issue for us was this trolley. Although we love the idea of the trolley project, it actually tore up a lot of our exit where we're located. We're located on Santa Fe and San Antonio, right on the corner in that 3-story parking garage. They actually tore up the whole street. So we had no exit or entry into our area. And so they were kind of destroying the bikes a little bit. And then they've of course narrowed the sidewalks. So we were at a point, we were able to use the sidewalks as long as we weren't kind of messing with pedestrian foot traffic. But now with the trolley carts, now we have to figure out our different routes to go around because our tires actually fit into the tracks. And so, you know, there's a lot of little things that we have to work out right now to get them back out. Yeah. Yes?
A couple questions for you. What are the nuts and bolts of what you do? How do people download? Is it an app?
It is not an app. So that's what we pride ourselves on, is that we're not an app. There is no download required on your phone. The only thing it's working off of is text messaging. Okay, so you will receive, it is a 5-digit code. Okay, for every business you do get a keyword. Okay, so whether it be the hub, let's just say, right? You would text in the hub to the 5-digit code number. Okay, once that kind of comes in, then you start receiving messages. What then the hub can now do is every week, every other week, every month, whatever they choose, send out a message. Hey guys, don't forget we have, you know, presentation with so-and-so on this day at this time. You know, then it's a way to kind of get the word out there.
So you're really dependent on businesses having the phone number of the customer. That's the...
Right, so automatically, it's not the business up to grabbing your phone number. So that's where the tablet comes in. Or you as a personal person will subscribe into it and you'll opt in yourself.
So where do you sign up? Is there a website? How do you...
So off of our website, off of 915 Rewards, we're revamping it right now, but it will be kind of like, let's say a local Groupon, right? Where you can go in and you can see what businesses are enrolled into our system, into our program. And so you can click on that and you can see what you're benefiting off of that, what rewards you're getting from there. Otherwise, if you just go and visit the facility, then you know all those different programs are out there. So on, let's say for a restaurant, at one restaurant I have, at every table, we have table tents that say, if you sign in today, you're getting a free, for this one we have a free appetizer and drink, okay? With your 10th visit, you'll get a free Mexican plate. Okay, so it just kind of starts building up. Those are your rewards.
Okay. And what's the value? I get a sense of this, but what's the value proposition for the end user and for the business that's using it? Do you have is there a standard discount that people get?
So the great thing, it's very flexible for each business. And this is what we pride ourselves in. Every business has a different marketing budget. Every business has a different end goal. Every business wants to reach a certain something, right? They want to see their return of investment in anything that you get, right? I mean, you want to say, what's in it for me? Every business, that's kind of our challenge as well, is every business is saying, what's in it for me? So the best thing about our system is that it's all customizable. Okay, so pricing is customizable. I'm going to look at what is your budget? What do you have for marketing? You know, we base it off of text messaging. So how many text messages are you going to want to send out? You know, how many people do we see subscribe within the first 2 weeks, within the first month? Then we'll kind of gear all our pricing towards that. The more, of course, the more you send out, the more messages, the more you engage with people, with your customers, the more you'll see them return, which is then going to hopefully increase whatever your profits, I guess. Yes.
So how do you get paid? What's your income?
So for me, what we do is I actually get paid for per month, which is what, your services. So I have a certain percentage, or for every, let's say every text message is going to cost 10 cents, let's just say, right? For every 10 cents, I receive 6 cents of that. Now, off of that, I also have to pay my licensing fees. So that's kind of how, just basing off of the business on how they're doing. So we also do websites through 915 Report. So if someone wants their websites done through us, we'll do that. If you want the loyalty program, which is the tablet, the text messaging, we have a lot of different things. We have other features. We partner with Google and Yelp, where we start generating reviews as well. So all these extra added features that we have in our system is where kind of we get paid from that. Yes.
Just to clarify, what do you mean you generate reviews? I'm curious.
When I generate what, I'm sorry?
Reviews?
Okay, so let's say this is your second time visiting the hub. Okay, you'll come in, let's say you punch in your phone number. 2 hours later, you'll receive a text message. We love seeing you again. Please give us a review. Let's say they give you, you'll give a 4 or 5 stars. Great service, loved it, whatever it may be. Let's say you give 1 or 2 stars because parking was horrible. Whatever. People find the worst things to give a review on for any business, right? What we do with our system and how we partnered with them was those 1, 2, and 3 stars do not automatically go out to Google or Yelp. Okay, what they do is they stay within our system. It is up to the business owner at that point to reach out to that customer and say, we're sorry you had a bad experience. Here's a 5% coupon for your next visit. We would love to see you again. Then hopefully they'll go back in and they'll give us another review. And then hopefully that one is a 4 or 5 stars. Okay. Yes.
How are you combating like the bigger companies like say Sonic or Jack in the Box that have their own corporate
They do, yes.
entities, right? And you text it and you get their stuff. How are you guys locally?
That has been the biggest challenge, to be quite honest. What we find is we can use those as examples, right? You have Sonic, you have, like I said, Walgreens, you have all these other big businesses that are already using their own loyalty programs, right? You watch a commercial and you say, oh yeah, the new Genix commercial, right? Text in for this and then now you'll receive a free bottle or something. That's exactly what we're trying to do. However, it's very difficult with local businesses to be able to say, yeah, it works, you know what I mean? But they're thinking, I'm a shared program. I'm trying to, no, we don't share anything, Your clients are your clients. But that's the hardest obstacle to have to go through and try to say that this has been, this will work for you. But it's used as a stepping stone, as an example, but we can't really, it's been a process.
Your focus is more local.
Local, we're only local. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we can, like I said, since we are an affiliate, if they are a franchise owner, we can throw that system in there. So we have like Little Caesars and things like that, like I said, but they have to be a franchisee in order for us to be able to implement that. Otherwise, it has to go through a corporate, and that's where it just becomes a big problem. Are we good? Okay.
What do you do for marketing for this?
So as far as another challenge being that I'm everything. So I am the marketing, I am the person that has to go out and do the cold calling. I have to go and manage all these. So keep in mind, I do have those, these 3 businesses. 915 Rewards seems to take priority for me right now at this point. Like I said, Pedicab's not really being in operation at a full capacity. We're out for events, but not out in the streets right now. With the car wash, that's pretty much self-sustaining. I mean, that just takes care of itself. And then, of course, 915 is mine. The other thing that I do is I also have 3 kids, and I have, and then I, of course, teach physical fitness classes, and I'm a professor at UTEP. Well, not a professor, but a PE instructor. So with all of that, It's a lot, you know, and it's having to train people so that they can go out and do this and start promoting it and kind of getting the word out there. So right now, since I do have a team, you know, of people in California, they're able to go out and make my calls for me, but that only gets me so far because I still have to kind of schedule in between everything that I have going on into this. So it's a challenge. Yeah. Yes.
So how much is your car wash downtown?
So $20 for a complete car wash and detail. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's all hand car wash. Yes. So if you ever go in, free parking, Mills Building, yes. Yes.
Can you give us an example of a client that you've been working with and what are their
Yes. So right now, currently, I'd like to throw in, I'm trying to think of the closest one right now. Okay, so let's think of, has anybody been to Joe, Vinny, and Bronson's?
Yes.
Yes, okay, 5 Points, right? 5 Points area. Christina owns Joe, Vinny, and Bronson's, and she also owns a yoga studio that's right across the street from that. So she went ahead and started implementing the 915 Rewards program into hers. It has worked out really, really well. What we also do with her and for her is anytime that she sends out a text message for her clients, you know, she has events, you know, she has shows, a new vegan lunch menu. So we also created different campaigns for her. So a campaign could be the keywords that we send out. So her first one is 420 fries. So as soon as you check into 420 fries, as her first one, you get $1 off any coffee. Okay, so that's that one. She also has a vegan one. So anything that she sends out, new menu items for vegan you know, customers, that's what we have for her. So anytime she sends out a text message to her clients, it also gets uploaded into her Facebook. Okay, so now her Facebook users can also start seeing what the VIP Loyalty Rewards Program people get. So yeah, it's been really, I mean, that one's been a pretty good, successful one, and we've been running that for about 2 months, and she already has 250 people running into her program. Yes.
Did you say you have rewards on your car washes also?
Yes, yes. First time you go in, you get $5 off that $20 car wash. Yes.
Do you have to have the, I know like JVB has the tablet you touch it, but do you have to have it, or you could have it?
You don't have to, you can just go in and just have your keyword into that, and then you could just market it off of that. So I will provide posters if you don't have a tablet, which I have had a few customers, let's say a restaurant specifically, who takes the people their check. They don't have an actual welcome, you know, hostess or anything. They just kind of go in and sit down. So it makes it real difficult to have to take in a tablet. I mean, where do people go and get that? So for that one, we just have the stands at the table for everyone. Text in and then show your text to receive your, you know, your reward or your coupon.
Any other questions? Going once. Going twice. Okay, as always, the last. As always, the last question is what can we as a community do to help? Yes.
Okay, so for me, of course, if you all know of any small businesses who are maybe brand new, trying to get their word out there, a lot of the times for a lot of, let's say nail shops, right? They want to give you those little punch cards. I know for me, I love those, but I forget it. I change out purses and wallets and I end up forgetting it, you know what I mean? You just, darn it, I wish I had it. So this is where we come in, okay? What we want to do is we want to eliminate those punch cards. We want to eliminate those little key tags. We want to, you know what I mean? Everything's going to be on your phone. So through that tablet, it's just going to help to keep track. It keeps track for you. If a customer hasn't been in 35 days, guess what? It's going to send them a text message automatically and say, hey, we miss you, we haven't seen you. You know what I mean? So we have those features that we can do. So if you can, you know, help me out by maybe kind of sending in somebody over my way. And then of course, we just need help, I guess, connecting with bigger organizations, bigger, you know, clients, so that we can get.
Such as?
So right now, And we started off with Independent Burger. Independent Burger does have our tablet. Hopefully with that, you know, as it grows and as they see that it is growing, you know, they also own Crave, they also own Bubblegum, they have, you know, they have different businesses all around, Hillside Coffee. If we can, you know, businesses like that, you know, would benefit, and then they can kind of keep it all together in one program.
Okay, great. Thank you, Deanna. So should be silent.
They want to tell me that like, the rat.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have time for some community announcements.
Thank you.
First, does anybody in the audience have any announcements that y'all would like to make? An event? You guys, oh, yes ma'am.
I just want to remind everyone again that February 12th, we're having our Kid Entrepreneur event with my real estate investing group. It is going to be Monday the 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. So if you want more information, we're going to be at 1516 Brookhaven. It's off of Montana Avenue. Pretty easy location to get to if you want some more information.
And is that on Startup Digest?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Anybody else, any other announcements? Anybody hiring, looking to hire, raise money, you raise money, any announcements in the community? None?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Andy. Just wanted to mention to you, I do other things. I do crypto investing as well as real estate investing. The crypto investing, we do events Monday and Thursdays. One on the east side, one on the west side. The real estate, we meet like twice, or once, a couple times a week. So whatever, just come talk to me. I'll tell you more details as well. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So our announcements. The SBDC Small Business Development Center in association with the SBA are having a seminar on unemployment tax rates and claims, hiring and firing procedures. There is a cost. It's a 3-part series. The first one already passed, but the next 2 are tomorrow, February 1st, and February 9th, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Next, the county of El Paso Economic Development has a Texas PACE, a property assessed clean energy program. So if you were looking to upgrade your home or commercial property with renewable energy, please check them out. There's a contact information that we can provide to you. Next, the Greater Chambers BizTank competition is part of their Women in Business conference. The deadline to apply is tomorrow, February 1st. The actual conference and the competition will be March 23rd. There are prizes, including a square payment stand, a New Vision Duo 11.6, I have no idea what that is, and Microsoft Office software, so that's a good event. Next, the city of El Paso is launching their new resilience strategy. Thursday, February 1st, also tomorrow, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I believe that's free at the El Paso Museum of Art here at Arts Festival Plaza downtown. So if you want to know what the city is going to be doing on resilience, please check that out. The Hub's legal office hours, where you get 25 minutes absolutely free with an attorney right here at the Hub. We do that monthly. So for February, it will be on February 15th. You must register by the week before, February 8th. You can see anybody here at the Hub, or you can send an email to officehours@hubep.org. You can also schedule and apply on at eventbrite.com and then finding the Hub and our event. Next, the El Paso Hispanic Chamber is having their Hablemos de Dinero 2.0, Managing Credit for Business Success. That's a long series of events. The first one was in January. The one for February is February 8th, create a business plan. March 8th, create a marketing plan, and it goes from there. So if you have any interest, please see us. Next, the Piensa Institute, one of our guests and alumni speakers, is having an workshop, an introduction to critical thinking for those who want to become smarter than they are in a guaranteed manner. That will be Saturday, February 10th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then a follow-up. Is it 2 parts, producer? 2 parts, then Saturday, February 17th. There is a cost for that, so if you have an interest, please come see us, or Cruz himself is here. Next, the Texas Workforce Commission is having their Texas Business Conference. They're having these across the state. The one for El Paso is May 4th at the El Paso Marriott, and you will get a chance to talk and hear from the state's employment law attorneys on employment law and hiring, federal Texas and Texas wage and hour law, unemployment loans, all that good stuff straight from the attorneys themselves. Next, the Office of the Texas Governor, Economic Development and Tourism is having export initiatives. This goes all year long also. If you have any interest in exporting, growing or exporting, starting exporting, this is a wonderful program. Some are here in the U.S. or in Texas, some they'll take you overseas, introduce you to the right people. So again, if you have any interest in that, please see us. Downtown El Paso Insider, obviously we're part of the downtown community. As Deanna is very much plugged in, please, you can sign up for the Downtown El Paso Insider newsletter, being kept aware of everything that's happening downtown. Breakfast with friends, business networking, free every Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. at the Carnitas Querétaro on the east side by the fountains. And then all of these events, or most of them, or should be, please sign up for StartupDigest.com. You can go to StartupDigest.com, find El Paso. You can subscribe to the newsletter, find out what's happening in innovation in the startup community, but also you can submit your events. So please do that, StartupDigest.com. And lastly, since we are in now our second year of 1 Million Cups, if you, either as a presenter or as just a guest, have had any kind of success through 1 Million Cups, and we're being very liberal with our definition of success, a connection with a client, a customer, a provider, anything like that. People have told me stuff, but now we really are trying to collect it. So please, if you've had any kind of success or impact from 1 Million Cups, please let us know. Please let me know. We want to know these success stories that we're having an impact on the community. So and Serena has one.
Excuse me, sorry. So we are having, the Hub is having a workshop in February on the 28th. For women in the workplace. We will be covering topics of makeup tips. We're going to have Elise Simmons from Elise Simmons Beauty come and do a makeover on someone in our audience that evening. And we will also be talking about fashion in the workplace. So if you can make it on February 28th, it's Wednesday from 5 to 7.
Awesome. Yes, Sandra.
Question. So regarding
this is only for announcements.
The testimonial, yes. Needed in written form?
Yes. It would be great in written form. Actually, so if you have something like that, I can help. I can draft it, and then you can check it or whatever. Because I know people don't like to write. I mean, Pancho and I used to do this back at the city. But yes, whenever you have an email, a text, a conversation with me, and I'll probably follow up with you and say, here, let's put this into Word. But yes, we're trying to collect. Also on that, an idea one of our clients had. Some communities have expanded other ways to connect the community as a whole. For El Paso, for instance, Charleston uses a Charleston Tech Slack channel. Anybody here? Who here knows what Slack is? Okay, so a handful. So that's one idea that we've had of maybe having a Slack channel for El Paso, or how else we might. Yeah, all the tech people are like, yeah, do it, and then like the other 80% of us are like, huh, what's that? But we are looking for a way to connect our community beyond just. It's great that we come here every Wednesday. But Charleston, again, for instance, does great things. Once a month, they collect other kind of success stories and they send out to the whole community, and it's open to everybody. Like, so for all of Charleston, people hear, hey, this company did this or that company did that. So please give it some thought. If you have any other, we may still do the Slack channel, and hopefully we can start bringing it together. But any other ideas on how else we can help build this community that we're doing here in our region would be great. With that, I'll bring up our next presenter, Creative Gong. Woo! Both of our presenters today are alum presenters coming back for their second go-around, so we're very appreciative of that. And also, if you are an alum presenter, if it's been at least 6 months since you presented, please come back and see us. We can do it all over again. Thank you. Oh, you don't need it.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sandra Salas. I'm a graphic designer. I own Creative Gong, which is a graphic design studio. We've been in business for 10 years. And I presented about a year ago. But today I want to present about one of our projects that kind of branched off of Creative Gong. And it's called Piece of Work. Ever since I started my business, I decided that part of my business was giving back to the community. And so ever since day one, for the first 3 years, I would adopt a non-for-profit every 6 months, and I would do all the graphic design that they needed for 6 months, for pro bono. And so that I was doing that. But then, a little bit about my history is, I am a U.S. citizen, but I grew up in Mexico. My parents were business people, so they moved to Mexico. So I grew up in Mexico, Mexico City, Chihuahua, and then Ciudad Juárez. So I pretty much grew up in Mexico. Then I came to college here. Well, anyway, so my family is in Mexico. And as you know, in 2006, the violence in Ciudad Juárez was just like crazy. I mean, it went horribly. And I was living already over here, having a good, perfect little life. And then January, I believe, 8th or something like that, Villa de San Marca happened. And I don't know if you guys know about that, but it was a shooting that happened at a house party, and a lot of the kids were killed, and a lot of people in the neighborhood were killed. And I remember watching the news, and the way my friends and I reacted to that horrible news really opened my eyes, because what happened is one of us said, well, I'm glad I don't live in Mexico. And I'm like, we're like a few feet from there. Another one said, let the Mexicans kill each other. And I was like, what? How can we think like that? Especially in a town where a lot of us have family, friends, we conduct business with Juarez. So I thought that was really interesting. So what happened is I started asking my clients when they would come by and ask me, what do you think about what's going on in Juarez? And to my shock, a lot of them said, out of sight, out of mind. They didn't want to talk about it. So I decided to do a poster that was like James Bond movie style poster, and it said, Ciudad Juárez, license to kill. Well, I would put it up in my office, and people would actually start talking about the violence, but in their minds they were talking about art. They were talking about the poster. So I decided, well, this is interesting, the power images, right? And as a designer, I've never felt as an artist. I always think that we're communicators. We communicate a message, an idea, we sell a product, or we sell a service. We're not artists. Now we make things look cool, but that's not our mission. So what I did is I called all my colleagues that have roots in borderland who are dispersed throughout the U.S. and Mexico, and I asked them to design a poster that would promote peace, or that would comment on the violence that was happening in the border. Before I knew it, I had 50 posters within a week designed. And then eventually I ended up having about 150 posters. And then we did a call for entries in Mexico, and we got another 200 posters. Then we selected the best ones, and those are the ones we chose for the exhibit. So we decided to do a one-night show. And even though and our mission was to create awareness about the situation of violence, but people would tell me, we already know what's going on, we just don't want to address it. And I thought, do you really know what's going on, right? And so with this exhibit, you know what they say, that graphic designers want to save the world with a poster. But with this exhibit, we had a lot of people come. I believe we had about 600 people show up on opening night, which was crazy. And we also had children involved. I mean, it was a great event. We created a lot of, the media covered it. I mean, it was awesome. What happened that day is people came in and they actually paid $5 to get in, and we weren't charging. So we raised about $3,500 that day. And we didn't know what to do with it. So I called my attorney, is this legal? Should I keep this money? What do we do? So then he said, what if you open an not-for-profit? So we looked into it. It was too time-consuming, too expensive. So we affiliated with From the Women's Foundation, which is an organization that only works in Mexico. So they manage all our money. We became one of their projects. And what we do pretty much is we show our posters. And what happened is so many people showed up that day that they really didn't get to see the posters. So we actually kept the exhibit for a month. And I literally moved my office there, and people would come and visit. That prompted Utah to ask us to do a forum based on the violence. So we did that, and from there everything just happened. EPCC invited us, NMSU invited us, UT Austin, UCLA, Dartmouth, Yale. All these universities wanted to talk about the violence, which it made me have to know in detail what was going on in Juarez. So it was really interesting. So every time I go and I speak at a university and we show our exhibit, they pay me. And that money goes to the fund where we help people. So what do we do then? What we do is we wanted to help people directly, because it turns out that people in Juarez, they were dealing with the violence, but the city was not ready for it. You know, people were victims. Well, you know, too bad, so, you know. So we decided that instead of giving our money to current groups that already exist in Juarez, we wanted to give it directly to people. So I affiliated with an organization in Juarez called Pastoral Obra through the Catholic Church. And what they do is they help us find people who might need help financially mostly. And it can be anything from my daughter was shot and we have to pay the medical bills. Or my son died, we need to pay the funeral. Or I'm the grandmother, my daughter and son were killed. I'm taking over the children, I can't pay the school fines or fees or whatever. So it can be anything from $10 that we might help someone, or it can be up to like, you know, $200, $300, even $500. I don't know if the picture already came through, but there's a picture of a young lady. And she's the one project that we've actually helped the most. She happened to be walking into a pharmacy. The owner hadn't paid the quota. Wrong time, she walked in, bad guys came in, burned the place with her inside. 90% of her body was burned. The Red Cross took her in 20 days later. They released her. 20 days later, 90% of her body burned. God is merciful because for a whole year, she didn't get any infections. And that's when we met her a year later. And it's so ironic because the project, the day that we launched our exhibit was the day that she got burned. So it was really interesting. So we heard about her. Her skin had healed, but it didn't heal correctly. So she couldn't bend her limbs. So she was doing this. She got kicked out of the university for not attending, which is ridiculous. So what we did for her is first we found doctors to donate their time to remove all the skin. And then we started, you know, and developed a program so that we can help her heal correctly. It was a process of about 4 years. And then we actually got an attorney so that she could fight getting back into the university. Anyway, so 5 years we helped her, and she graduated. She's a teacher, special ed. So then we had problems because the president in Mexico decided to pass the fiscal reform, I believe, and we could not transfer money to Juarez anymore. It was very difficult. So what I did for a year is I would actually cross cash into Juarez, which was not safe considering violence and, you know, all that. And then the IRS told me, what are you doing? So like, okay. So what we decided is we decided to implement projects instead. So once a year for Christmas, from September to December, we do some kind of drive where we can actually take stuff to Juarez. So whether it's a toy drive, whether it's medical equipment or supplies, or whether it's soccer balls and blankets, pretty much I scout Juarez, look for organizations or places that might need our help, and we pick that one project for the year. Most of, like I said, from once we pick an organization from September to December, we do the drives, whatever it may be, and we only do it through social media. So for example, our last project was a library. And we're starting a library in Juarez for children, and at the outskirts of Juarez. And we collected about 3,000 books, children's book in Spanish, just through Facebook alone. So that was pretty cool in a matter of 3 months. We also got Rotarians to come and give us a donation to buy the furniture and then implement like a computer lab for our library. We are going to open it we were going to open it this week, but we're going to open it in February. So that's pretty much what the organization is about. I also conduct fundraisers. So I don't know if you saw, there were a lot of like cartoony characters that were showing. So I did a show recently, and all the money, we sell prints, and all the money collected goes to that fund that the Frontera Foundation, the Women's Frontera Foundation does. Every time you donate any kind of money or service or anything, it is tax deductible. So that's pretty much what our organization does. So do you have any questions?
Are you able to, with permission of the artist, replicate the posters and sell them as part of raising money?
Yeah. All of the artists gave us 100% rights to all of the artwork. And we actually did a volume 2, and we opened it internationally. And what was so interesting is that artists from all over the world submitted their posters, but there were artists that lived in areas of conflict themselves, and they gave us their perspective on our border violence.
So are you replicating the posters to someone?
Yeah, if you make a donation, you get a poster of your choice.
Have you thought of making a book to put in all the art and then sell that, and you could sell it to any university, any, start marketing it out that way?
That was the original idea, but to be honest with you, I'm looking for a sponsor, pretty much, to do something like that. We did, however, with AMI from Border Census, they do print an annual book, right? And they did they did use some of our posters for some of their stories.
Yeah, well, I want to, the funny thing is that Sandra and I worked on this project many years ago, close to 10 years ago, except I didn't know all this history. I run a non-profit also on the literary art side. But, so we never have, and I've known Sandra for a long time. So everyone should give her, thanks, and let's give applause to Sandra for all this hard work, because the notion of El Paso people thinking Juarez is, a dead ditch and nobody has to worry about is a very problematic thing, but that's how it is here. Nobody really cares what goes on there. They're thankful that El Paso is safe and Juarez is not, or whatever. But anyway, that you can't change people's minds. They have to figure out on their own. But the fact is, I think we need to work together to bring more awareness, because I think Juarez is a fascinating city personally, and been there many times. But they need help, and that was the cover of our magazine. That one, the one on the right.
This is the young lady, as you can see. This is a position, and we do work with actually, and what's so great about this project is that it kind of grew by itself. I really have not spent any of my money. Everything, we've been very blessed. People from the media to pretty much anybody will always do everything for free for us. So I'm really very grateful. We also depend a lot on our volunteers. I call them the giving hearts. So not only do you volunteer and help people, you actually get a cool title. But we have volunteers who are constantly changing, which is really great. One of the challenges with it becoming a project that actually takes things instead of money is that we have to cross them into Juarez. So I have what I call Operación Hormiga, which means we have to kind of sneak them, and so that's why the project takes 3 months, because we need to get the stuff across and then deliver them. Usually when we deliver the stuff, we have a pachanga. We go, we get roscas, we get food, we get party, we enjoy, we spend time with the kids. So it's a really cool thing to do. And then the illustrations that were at the end, those were actually started because I would go with the kids, and they would ask, they found out I was an artist, and so they were like, Miss, can you draw me a bird? Can you draw me a snake? Can you draw me this? So I would sketch them for them with Sharpies on the note cards. And then I would post them on Facebook, and then a publisher just called me and said, we would like for you to write a story for each character, and we'll publish it in a book. So hopefully that'll happen, and hopefully the money raised from that will go to the organization. Sadly, violence is starting to creep up again. The media is not really covering it, but the violence never really went away. It's just the media decided. It went down, but it didn't go away completely. And so it started to go up again, and so the problem is, again, I don't know if you knew this, but just between 2006 and 2010, over 10,000 orphans were left because of the violence in 4 years. So there's a lot of need for help, even though supposedly the violence went down, there's still, what do you call it, collateral damage? And there is a lot of need. One of the challenges I had is some people would say, why would I help you? There's a lot of need here in El Paso. And I'm like, yes, and that's very awesome. But what you see in Juarez is 10 times worse. And I think that as a community that, we depend on each other, how can you look the other way, you know? So anyways, how much time do I have? Enrique, how much time?
Let's go.
About 5 minutes.
Okay, so like we had a lot of challenges and just doing this. A lot of people in El Paso were, as much as a lot of people have decided they want to help, a lot of them were very negative towards that because they didn't want to be associated in any way or form with what was happening in athletics. The other thing that, because of this, we don't do this to take credit. I'm only talking to you because I think we need volunteers and we need help. But we don't do this to make ourselves feel good or to say, you know, create a bond, you know. We do it to help people. At the end of the day, it's to help people. I have a vision and I believe that most people like to be part of something bigger than themselves, but most people don't act on it, but if you provide them the tools and the process, most people will help. However, there are those people that will not, and so, or they're very negative, or, you know, so that happened. But in the process of this, I got to meet a lot of wonderful people. I got to travel to a lot of places. In the world of design, I've become like a big, you know. Also, we got recognized by the United Nations through the University for Peace in Costa Rica, you know, for providing this help. We got contacted by designers from Mexico who are telling me, you have no idea how wonderful this event, this organization is, because you're giving a voice to us. Most designers in Mexico cannot speak about it. You will be blacklisted by the government. So a lot of them participated because it's an international organization and project. So that's pretty cool. We also received hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of emails from people in Juarez just saying it's so awesome that you're talking about the problem, that you're not necessarily promoting the violence, but promoting the need that the victims have, and they would share their stories with me. So it's amazing. We've collected hundreds of stories, orally and written. And so the Dartmouth College will be actually keeping that in the records, the Rockefeller Center, I believe. So it's going to be part of the Rockefeller Center. Sadly enough, UTEP did not want to keep those stories. I don't understand why. And the importance of that collection of stories and testimonials is because they were collected while the violence was happening. It wasn't like afterwards. And so that's why the Dartmouth got very interested in it. So again, how can you help? You can help by volunteering. You can help by donating money through our website. You can also donate directly to the website from the Women's Foundation. You can email me. You can volunteer, spreading the word. Like, for example, when we do the toy drives or whatever, a lot of my business friends will be drop-off places, you know, so promote their business as well as they're helping people, helping process stuff. Also, spreading the word about what we do and how they can help. And then also, you can buy a poster. You can buy a print from one of those caricature characters, and all the money goes to the organization. So I do, as a matter of fact, have posters, so if you want to buy them, they're $10, they're prints. So that would really help us. We do take returns, checks, and you name it. And so pretty much that's it. Oh, and then also I just want to say, one of the reasons why this project started was because there is a graphic designer in New York, Stefan Stagmeister, world-renowned graphic designer. And when 9/11 happened, he went to the firehouse and he said, how can I help? And the fireman told him, you can help by using your talents and your services every day and anytime you can. So thank you.
Okay. Okay, I forgot to give away a mug during the break, so let's do it now. And don't forget we have cake. I just dropped some.
You want to take a picture?
Oh, sorry, yes. Well, no, because I'm in the cake.
Oh yeah, and then the other day I took it down. The phone.
attendees. Thank you, sir. All right, that's the program for today. Again, we have cake and coffee. Please do stick around and network. Please do sign in on your way out if you didn't on the way in, because we need to report to our supporters, to our funders, that we're having an impact. Come back and see us next week and sign up to present. Thank you.